Welcome to RoosterTV, and today we're joined by our senior women's coach, Krissie Steen. Krissie, thanks for joining us.
No worries.
It's good to have you on board. Firstly, we'll just have a chat about what you've been up to today and what you do with yourself outside of coaching the women.
I'm like Superman, Darryl. How wide is this shot? How wide is it? Look at this. I've been working. Do you know what that is, Darryl?
I've got no idea.
I'm a carpenter, so I've been at work all day.
Nice. Got a few jobs at home I need done, so I'll, when footy finishes, I might get you around. But
a few shelves to put up.
Yes, definitely. I'm not a handyman, and it's one thing I'm not very good at. So. Well, firstly, we'll go back to the first 4 rounds of the sample season. We did kick off earlier this year, and we had a great start to the season, winning all 4 games with a nail biter in round 4 against South Adelaide by a point or 2 at the end of the game. But can you just talk us through what you thought of those first 4 rounds and how the girls adapted to your game style?
I think we developed obviously right from the first game until right up until the South Adelaide game. I know that the South Adelaide game was a biter for us, but I really don't feel like we didn't play our best footy. We were down a few players, and that's always an excuse that people make, but we didn't play our game style at all, and I think that showed us up. So it just sort of, I think it proved to the girls the importance of making sure they stick to the plan. But yeah, I was pretty happy, and they're getting fitter. We play a real sort of running, back and forth and transition game, and I think they've worked really hard on their fitness. So yeah, I was very happy with the first 4, and I'm really looking forward to the next 6.
At least, hopefully. Obviously, with the COVID hitting in, the preparation sort of took a back step for a while, and the girls got to get away from football for a while. What did you put in place for them over the lockdown to make sure that they come back fit enough to start playing again?
They didn't get a lot of rest. No. I think they probably worked harder in the off season than they did at training, to be honest with you. Some of them have come back fitter than they were before we finished up. So we had a weekly strength and conditioning Zoom meeting, which was quite funny because we had, obviously the girls are at home and some of them didn't have gym equipment, so we had some really interesting weights that they made. One girl had a couple of 6-packs, her dad's 6-packs in a backpack, and Amber Ward was using the 5-litre petrol cans from the lawnmower, and it was a lot of fun. So we did that, and then they had a pretty heavy running program, and then each week the assistant coaches took it in turns to put a skills program together for them, and they did it. For them, you always get the ones that didn't, but across the board I would say 90% of them did it, and I'm really, really impressed with them. We've got an amazing bunch of girls, don't we?
Yes, very good group. And then obviously the uncertainty of coming back in. Obviously, it has been a summer competition, we're going into a winter competition, so things have changed a little bit with now that girls that miss out can play softball. So how will the transition of players work there?
I think, given that it's probably now more like the men's comp, so if we don't choose them for our game, that they do actually get to go and play club level, and I think that gives us a real opportunity to go and see what they're capable of, and I think it's also fairer on the player because they don't feel like, I'm out, how do I prove myself to get back in? And I think that'll be really beneficial. I do think the SANFL, the SANFL men's and the SANFL W all running at the same time is probably more your headache than anybody else's.
Sure is.
I'm glad you're dealing with that one.
Yeah, oval space is rather tough at the moment, but we're getting through and working together to make sure that we all get enough training in to prepare to play some games. So on to the games. We had a little internal on Saturday, and it was a pretty good hit out for the girls. No injuries, which was the only thing I was worried about, but can you give us an update on how you thought that went?
Yeah, they're looking good. They're executing what we want to. We've got an extremely strong back line. Some of the transition play end to end was really exciting. Obviously, some of our key players are, just outstanding, like Lauren Daniel, Christy Harvey, Chrissy Castle, Ash Woodland, Hannah Ewings, And then we've got the newbies who've stepped in, like Lauren Gauchi and Erin Sundstrom, and it was just, those players are at a level that I think we're going to play a very, very exciting brand of football, and it was really good. That's the first hit out, and they looked sensational. So I was happy with them. Look, there's lots of stuff to work on. There's always lots of stuff to work on. I'm never very happy, but don't tell them. But I was happy with what they did on Saturday.
Obviously, we do have a strong group, which has now been with the AFLW not playing and the Crows and all the other teams allowing the girls to come back and play the sample will make it a very strong competition. We've been fortunate enough to get 3 with AFL experience. We'll start with Talia Radan, who we did have when she was at the Crows, who's now been in Melbourne and then West Coast, where she'll slot into our side.
Oh, she's going straight into the back line. We might see her, go into the mid for a little bit. Talia's a really smart player. I remember when, we found out that she was back in Adelaide and the feedback on her. I've coached a lot of the girls in the team before, but I've never coached Talia before. And the feedback I got from her was that she's a real true Rooster. She's committed to the club. She's a great team person, and coaching her is a dream. Actually, she's just slotted straight into the team. She's fantastic. She's raising the level of the girls around her, and yeah, it's great to have her. And then obviously we've got Britt Perry, who's been a Rooster since the beginning, and Britt's probably one of the most intelligent players that I have coached. Britt, we were in Sydney at GWS together, and Britt is one of the smartest players I've seen. Her decision making in traffic and her ability to find the right option under pressure is elite. So she will play between the midfield and the forward line.
Yep. No, Britt definitely. She's always been a high performer for the Roosters, finishing, I think she's won a BNF and come runner-up the other year, so we're glad to have Britt back. And then, the big one, I guess, that we haven't seen before, but she's a proud Rooster now, is Anne Hatchard, the Crows Best and Fairest winner, and one that Krissie had a fair bit to do with getting her over. So you can quick chat about Anne and keep it short.
Because
one of your favourites.
Could probably go on forever. No, Hatchie and I we've known one another a long time, and so it's, apart from the fact that she's just an incredible footballer and a huge tank, huge work rate. She's just a wonderful kid as well, and I think you can see, when we do the line work and she's in with the midfield, you can immediately see the other girls raising to try to stay at her level. I mean, you're talking about someone who clocked around 11k at training and was fresh as a daisy. Like, she's a real hard worker. So I think she'll be really exciting for our members to come out and have a look at and see the change in our game, having those kind of players in it. Yep.
And as long as the players coming back, obviously the support staff and everyone involved has recommitted, which is fantastic. You've got a great group to work with. Any words for those people?
Oh, I think along with anyone that works within a club and helps out, it's often a bit of a thankless job. I think sometimes sometimes they kind of get overlooked, but they are really the glue that hold it all together. And we're so lucky, like the group that we've got running the women's program. I would say that it is very professional, the program that we run, and that would come from the commitment from the assistant coaches and the medical staff and the high performance and the managers that we've got on board, and they all work really hard. So we're pretty lucky to have them all come back.
They've been great. Been great. And just two more quick ones before we finish. Obviously, you've done a lot of work with our country girls, and it's been great to see that Kate Case and Hannah Ewings and Beck Rashid have played every game this year, and there's a couple of others that are pushing for selection. Do you want to make a note to, or give the country girls a bit of a word to say that it's worthwhile to come down and have a crack?
Oh my God, we're really hoping to develop our zone and to encourage anybody who might be in our zone and wanting to play. There is so much talent. There is so much talent out there, and we really we can see that. With Beck Rashid slotting straight in, playing every game. Kate Case is just absolutely magnificent on the outside winger, and then you've got Hannah Ewings. I would tip that she'll be the number 1 draft pick when she's eligible. And then we've got Georgia Eldridge, who's knocking on the door right now. I would put money on it that she's going to debut in the next 6 games. So there's heaps of opportunity here, and we're really behind the girls in our zone to come down and have a crack. We do understand they can't train all of the time, so we work with that, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to play, because you can see evidently from those 4 that it's possible.
And we now know that we're going to finish the 6 games that were previously put in place in the schedule, so now we can lock that in. We only know when the first 2 are, but your expectations on the last 6 games, and what are you going to focus on in that period?
Winning.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. I think, we've just got to get really, really good at what we do. The brand of football that we play is, it could, at moments in wet weather, it might be difficult to play that type of football. We like to move the football very quickly by foot, and we look for transition, and that brand of footy can be difficult at times in the wet weather. So we'll just be focusing on getting exceptional at what we actually do, and then also improving our contested ball, so that should we hit those big wet weather games like North got in the grand final last year, that we're prepared for that and we can give them more than a run for their money.
Okay, thanks Krissie. It's great to have a chat. We finally get to go back in, and we're starting round 5. We play Sturt this Saturday at Peter Motley Oval at 11:50. So if you've got nothing to do, make sure you get down there, support the Roosters, because they'll put on a fair show for everyone. So thanks Krissie. And
hang on. Even if you do have something to do, put it off, because it's going to be well worth coming to watch, I promise. All right?
From the coach. So thanks very much Krissie, and good luck for the rest of the year.
Cheers Dazzler, thanks.